Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Hopefully it'll be a Shavua Tov after last night, but crazy. Okay, here we go. So we are at the beginning of Perek Shavi, new Perek, Baruch Hashem. Page Nun Dalet Amud Aleph 54a. Hanoder min hayerek, min hayarak. A person makes a neder not to have any more vegetables. Then mutar bidluin. You are allowed to have gourds, squashes, those types of vegetables. The Ran explains why. Let's take a look at the Ran, the first Ran on the left side. Hanoder min hayarak mutar bidluin. The lo have a yerek el pri. It's not a vegetable; it's a fruit. Okay, interesting. It's a fruit. Okay, so tomato is a fruit, I guess now. Squash
People
and pumpkin. Yeah, tomato, but like I never heard of pumpkin or any of the gourds.
Right.
But the other explanation, if you eat the mefarshi, there are those that explain the stam yerek ne'echal kemot shehu chai. Stam vegetables can be eaten raw, but the luin and but gourds and squash is not so. You can't eat it raw, and that makes the difference. Okay, so that's the explanation for the Tanakama. Rabbi Akiva oser. Rabbi Akiva, back to the Mishnah. Rabbi Akiva oser. Rabbi Akiva says no, it's asur. It's included in vegetables. It's included in yerek.
So he says the Mishnah is wrong.
No. He argues on the Tanakama. Argues on the first explanation of the Mishnah,
Sure.
which is unnamed. Usually it could be Rinir Balanes or Meir, but it's unnamed, and Rabbi Akiva has his opinion on it and says that it's also included in vegetables. Boker Tov Zev. We just started the Mishnah. The person that says a neder on not having any vegetables, the Tanakama says you're allowed to have diluin, gourds, pumpkins, squash. Rabbi Akiva says asur, it's included in vegetables. Amru lo Rabbi Akiva. They told Rabbi Akiva, Va'alo omer adam l'shlucho. Doesn't a person tell his shaliach, tell his messenger, kachli yerek, go and buy for me vegetables. Ve'hu omer lo matzati ela diluin. And they tell him back, we didn't find. All we found was gourds. So this Amru Lo Rabbi Akiva, they're telling Rabbi Akiva. I think this is the Tanakama's. Yeah, okay. So they told Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva, you say that it's also like a yerek? You say it's also like a vegetable? A man tells his shaliach, go and buy me vegetables. He tells the back, all I found was gourds. To show it's a different thing. Meaning, I didn't find any vegetables, but I found gourds. So you see, it's a different thing. And that's why it'll be mutar. That's what Tanakama says. He's bringing, Lashon B'nei Adam into this. This is Lashon B'nei Adam person says, oh, go buy me the vegetables. What is he? He says, well, I couldn't find any vegetables. I found squash. Amar Lahem. Now, Rabbi Akiva told the rabbis back, Kena Davar, is it so? Or maybe it's the following way. And basically the Ran says this Kena Davar is, if you want to look quickly, the last of the bigger lines. Amar Lahem Kena Davar, Mizeh ani mevi raya le'asur b'diluin. From your logic, I will bring a proof that the diluin is asur. Why? So he says, Shema Omer, look at the Bach, Shema Omer hu lo, maybe he tells him, maybe the Shaliach tells him, Lo matzati, he says, Shema Omer hu lo matzati ela kitnit. Will the person say, all I found was beans? They wouldn't say it. It seems like beans are for sure not a vegetable. I guess that's what, they could have brought a different type of proof, but, so he says, would a person say, all I found was beans? אלא שהדולים בכלל ירק, וקטנית אינו בכלל ירק. Rather, gourds are not part of vegetables, the gourds are part of vegetables, and kitnit are for sure not. Meaning, what he's saying is like this: the Tanakama says to Rabbi Akiva, you know what the proof is that the luin is going to be allowed? The proof is that when a person goes and says, sends his messenger, go buy me vegetables, what does he say back to? Oh, all I found was gourds. So you see, it's a different thing. Rabbi Akiva says back, let's say the guy would come back and he would say, would anyone, so Rabbi Akiva says like this, so would anyone come back and say, oh, I didn't find vegetables, but I found drinks? No one would say that. It doesn't make any sense. I didn't find vegetables, but I found drinks. If a person says, I didn't find vegetables, I found gourds, that means that it's close to vegetables. So that's still under the category of vegetables. And therefore that's why Rabbi Akiva says it's asur. And from your logic, that's why I see it's asur, because no one's going to come back with something totally off. He's going to come back with something that's still in the category. So what he calls is totally off is the kitnit, so which is beans. But you could say, well, beans are also like a vegetable. But okay, but as he's saying that you want to say that the shaliach. Oh, look at the shaliach's words. You see, he says, "Oh, I couldn't find vegetables. I found the lot." So you see, it's a different thing. Rabbi Akiva says, "No, because no one. It's close to it. No one's going to say, "Oh, I didn't find vegetables. I found toys. I found something totally off." No one's going to say that. So you see that the luin is connected to yerek, and therefore, when a person says yerek, it's also included the luin. Last part of the Mishnah. The asur befula mitzri lach umutar beyavesh. And when a person, the Mishnah says, seems like no one argues in this, that when a person says a neder on yerek, it's asur also in full, I think it's fava beans. The Egyptian lach, soft, wet, or it's basically undried, regular fava beans. Umutar beyavesh, mutar and dry. Dried things. When a person says I want to go get vegetables, he's not really thinking about dried vegetables. So it's included. That's how it explains full in Hebrew also is fava beans, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So my in-laws are Egyptian. When I read this, my father-in-law said that in Egypt it was full of food. Like it was like everything was fava beans all the time. So this is like cool to see it here.
The same thing used to be in Sudan. Every store they have food
fava
ready
beans.
for to eat for it. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know what a fava bean is.
You know what I mean? You know Moroccan fish that those big those big
Black eyed
brown
peas.
beans.
Black-eyed peas.
No, the big brown
Black eyed
beans.
peas.
The black beans.
Not
They're like brown.
black eyed peas.
But some of them are small.
Some of them are huge.
Huge, yeah. You know those beans that like the Moroccan
those
fish?
are fava beans?
Yeah,
You said you were
Yeah.
treat.
No, it's a different one.
yeah. And sometimes they have dried. You ever see the dried? They have like
you're right.
kiddushas and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Gemara. Anoder mina yerek. So says the Gemara, Vehamin yerek nadar. I was asking that why are you saying that like Deluim is going to be allowed? One second. No, why are we saying that Deluim is asur? It's a question on Rabbi Akiva. Yeah, question on Rabbi Akiva. Why are you saying Deluim is asur? He said yerek. So the Gemara is asking that like it's like in the lashon, it's not a vegetable. So Rabbi Akiva says it goes with the shaliach. That's the Mishnah, but the Gemara is asking like from the lashon itself, it's not. It shouldn't be included. Okay, so the Ran's first thing is it's not a vegetable. It's a fruit. So the Ran says the last piece Let's read the run here, the first run on the Gemara. V'hamin yerek nadar. Why, Rabbi Akiva, are you saying it's a sur? It's a yerek. Rabbi Akiva parich. The Gemara is asking on Rabbi Akiva. Hechi asa b'diluim. How is it a sur to have diluim? V'hamin yerek nadar. V'diluim lav yerek ninu ela pri. It's a the Mishnah of Fula Mitzri. It's understood about the fava beans. Amar le Efshar lomar. You could say the kevan she'osim mimenu dagan kshu yavesh. Since you can make from it some sort of flour, goren, some sort of flour when it's dry, makamiachi, and before that, lo. I mean, when it's still lach, you can't. It's like a vegetable. Adaishata yerekavi velopri. It's a yerek and it's not a fruit. Edlin kasha, and dilim is a question. The afal gav that Ran continues, even though the Rabbi Akiva yaif tama, Rabbi Akiva brings a reason in our Mishnah. The mimlech aleh shaliach, that it's like from the shaliach that, or if he's I didn't find vegetables but dilim, that means dilim are included. Lo sagi dahu tama, that reason is not enough. Came in the mean yerek nadar dilim lav yerek. It's at the end of the day, it's not a yerek. It's you just find the shaliach. So the Gemara is asking, even though you have that reason, the Gemara is questioning that not directly that reason of the shaliach, but questioning the entire thing, that it's not considered a yerek. It's not in the category of a yerek because it's a pri. He doesn't bring the second reason that it's that you can only cook it, but it's a pri. It's not. It's just not a yerek. Okay, the shaliach thing. He brings it. He's not bring something that's attached. So Gemara is asking that, but it's not in the category of it. Let's back to the Gemara. Answers the Gemara. Amar Ula. Ula explains, answers. Be'omer yarki kedera alai. The person says in his neder, the yerek of the kedera is on me. Meaning that what I'm making a neder on is not yeraki, all yerakot, but yarki kedera alai. The yerakot that go into a pot. Let's look at the Ran. Amar Ula, Be'omer Yarki Kedera Alai, Ve'kevan Demiyater Lishne Lemichlal Dulim Ati. Since he switched the Lashon, meaning and now he didn't say just Yerek, but Yerek of the Kedera, so that's coming to include something. Because if you want to just say Yerek, just say Yerek. Yerek of the Kedera is be including of something, and Dulim is certainly you need to cook them, so it's coming to include Dulim. And then also it says and it makes sense because the shaliach, now it would make sense because when you say get me vegetables that are for the kedera, that is all I found was gourds, that it's still included in that, and therefore that's the proof of Rabbi Akiva of the Mishnah, and it would all make sense. So Ula says that's the case in the Mishnah, Yarki Kedera, which includes Diluim, and that's why the Shaliach is going to say, I didn't find a Yerakot, but I found Diluim. Same category, and that's why it's going to be Asur. Back to the Gemara. V'dilma Yerek Hane'echa B'Kedera Kamar. Maybe he meant Yerek that's eaten from the Kedera. Meaning the first explanation is Yarke Kedera, Yerakot that go into the Kedera, and this is Yerakot that are eaten from the Kedera. Like what does that mean? Let's see the Ran. V'dilma Yerek Hane'echal B'Kedera Kamar. Tekevan Diluim Leitnu Be'echal Yerek. Since in general, this is back to the premise because the Gemara is asking now. So we're going in the question form. Dilim is not part of Yerek. So now the Gemara wants to ask a question, bring the question back again, and say maybe it's the Yerek and Ne'echal B'Kedera, eaten from the Kedera. So let's see. The Kevin that Dilim let Nubiachal Yerek let lach leribuyanu. You can't include it miyatura delishna from this extra lashon. Elamai deleka lesvuke. But what is the thing that we for sure won't have a safek on when you say things that are eaten in the kedera? Kagon shumin ubitzalim habayim latim et kedera. Like for instance, garlic and onion, something that comes to give taste to the kedera. Avadulim lo mishtami mine the yarke kedera la'atim et kedera mashma. But dluim is not. It shouldn't be included in it because yarke of a kedera is referring to like vegetables of the kedera is referring to things that come to give taste to the kedera. So what the Gemara is saying is as follows. Ula answered. The case is the guy says yarke kedera alai. The yirakot of the kedera, that is what I'm making a surah. So the yarke kedera, at that point, that's what Rabbi Akiva says that the luim are included in that. And then the Gemara asks, maybe it's talking about yirakot that are eaten in the kedera, and really that shouldn't include the luim. Yarke kedera, right? Because yarke kedera maybe means things that come to give taste to the kedera, onion and garlic. I'm just not clapping because it says we deal with yarke ne'echal b'kedera kamar.
Hebrew like ne'echal or cooked, right?
Right, and the next one is be'omer yarke mitbashel b'kedera alai.
Yeah.
We deal with yarke. So 3 steps here. Ula says be'omer yarki kedera alai. The yirakot of the kedera. So that's going to answer for Rabbi Akiva. So the guy says yarke kedera, and that includes something that includes the lot. That's why the lot asur. Dilma yarka ne'echal bekedera kamar. Maybe it's talking about yarka that's ne'echal bekedera. למה דלק לסוג אין משתמע מיניה? כגון שום נמצא מיניה. לא משתמע מיניה. תהיה כקדרה להתאים את הגדרה. According to the way the Ran's explaining is that Yarke Kedera of Ula maybe means Yarka Ne'echal Bekedera, which is talking about Davka, Shum, and Davka onions. That's I think, that's meaning that this question, Dilma Yarka Ne'echal Bekedera, is not Be'omer, it's explaining Ula. And Ula answered. You know the case is Be'omer Yarke Kedera Alai. What's going on here? Ula says Be'omer Yarke Kedera Alai. He says Yarke kedera alai. So we said maybe that's now you're broadening yarakot, the yarakot of the pot, and that's going to include the luim. No, the Gemara says v'dilma yerek ne'echal b'kedera kamar. You know what yarek kedera means? It means yerek ne'echal b'kedera, and the minimum that we know that always goes in the kedera are things to give taste to the kedera, and things that give taste to the kedera like batzal and shum. That's what he means, and not the lot. The lot doesn't give a taste. That's like a food. So meaning yerka ne'echal b'kedera, and the minimum of ne'echal b'kedera is stuff that are always in there, which is shu and batzal. So the Gemara says no. Be'omer, you know what the case when he says what's the case of the neder to include the lot? Yerek mitbashel b'kedera alai. Any yerek that's cooked in the so that would now include anything including the lot. Let's see the Ran. Be'omer yerka mevushal b'kedera alai or mitbashel. Chol ki agav nasvir l'Rabbi Akiva. All these is now going again in Rabbi Akiva to explain Rabbi Akiva. The given the loim mamlich shlicha alayu. Since the shaliach, right? We have a reasoning for the Mishnah, but that's what the Gemara is saying is maybe not enough. But together with when a person says Yerek mitbashel b'kedera, that's going to come. The wording, we need that wording to accompany this concept. The Ola is going to bring it as well. So the Cholke agav nasvir l'Rabbi Akiva the given the loim mamlich shlicha alayu asur b'hem. V'Rabbanan savri the given the tzarich le'imluche alayu lav minei. And it's just re-explaining the Rabbanan's explanation, where if he says I couldn't find Yirakot, I brought Gluim, that means it's a different thing, that's why it's not included. the Kaimalan Kirabi Akiva, and we the one's telling us the psak. The psak is like Rabbi Akiva. כמו שנפרש לפנינו בסייעתא דשמיא, הלקח נודר מן הירק, אינו אסור בפרי אדמה. Person says a Nedarim Yerek, he's not included. I don't know what Pri Adama, I mean, this is all Yerek. Amar Yerek Kedera Alai, Asur Beperot Adama, Ba'im Lachshir Ma'acha Kishumim Mitzalim Mutar Dluim. So we're going through each one now. So what comes out is, if you just say Yerek, Eno Asur Bepri Adama. Then what are you Asur with? I don't know. Doesn't say what you are Asur with. And then when you say Yerek Kedera Alai, not Amit Bashel Kedera, Yerek Kedera Alai, then that's things that come to give taste. Shumin Mitzalim. Amar Yerek Amit Bashel Kedera Alai, Asur Bechol Perot Adama. Timim Lo Shlicha Alayu, Ki Amar Le Mishlach Yerek. So this is the case where when a guy says, I'm going to be Asur in anything that's cooked in a Kedera, that includes everything. And not just the first one that gives taste to Kedera. Fine.
Maybe because you cannot eat some things from the Adama raw, then you're not gonna say for all the Adama? For Yalak?
Yeah, the first line, the Hilchach
Yeah,
Noder.
the first line.
Yeah, Noder Nayak. It says the code Ba'amud Bet Ibrahim Tchil La'inyan.
Has to do with that it's Yavesh, maybe? I don't know. It could be dry.
Yeah. You cannot maybe eat it raw or something.
And it says to look ahead at the round of the next page. So maybe we'll get there for Amud Bet. We'll get there for Amud Bet. Okay, so that explains the machloket of Rabbanan and Rabbi Akiva. Says the Gemara, "B'mai kamiflagi," like what is the logic of their machloket? Now the machloket of Rabbanan and Rabbi Akiva. Okay, what's the logic? Now we got the wording to fit Rabbi Akiva of Dluim in there. What's their logic? Rabbanan Savri. Kol milta, first word on the one is milta, which is about halfway down. Kol milta de tzarich shlicha la'amluche ala lav minehu. Rabbanan hold any situation that the shaliach is, he's not getting. He says yerek. Oh, but I brought this. Okay, that's not yerek. That's not included. Rabbi Akiva said kol milta de mimlech shlicha ala minehu. Anything that a shaliach would get instead of that, then it would work. It would be under the umbrella of Yerek. That's the logic we spoke of. That's the logic of the machloket. I didn't bring only this, so that means you're attaching to the Yerek. That's the Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbanan said, well, you didn't find the Yerek. Oh, you found something else. That's not Yerek. Amar Abaye, back to the Gemara, Modeh Rabbi Akiva, Linyan Malkut Shenoloke. Rabbi Akiva agrees, though, regarding lashes, that you're not going to get lashes. So what's going on here with lashes? Meaning this is where if a person violates a neder, maybe in front of witnesses, there's lashes involved. You said, I'm not going to eat this, and now you eat this. So you're getting lashes for it. Now, it's you invited a lota aseh, and so it's a lav sheyesh b'maz. In general, like lashes are when you do an avera, a lota aseh, that has an action connected to it. Meaning, if God forbid a person speaks lashon hara, so lashon hara is just your mouth. It's very, very bad, but you're not going to get lashes for lashon hara, even if someone warns you, because you didn't do an action with avera. Here, it's a person says, I don't want to eat any more meat, and then he eats the meat. So you did an action on a lo ta'aseh, and there's going to be lashes attached to it. So, so says the Gemara that Abaye says Rabbi Akiva agrees that but in this type of case you're not going to get lashes. For what? Let's see the run. Amar Abaye, 4 lines down, the widest of the lines in the run. Amar Abaye, Modi Rabbi Akiva, Linyan Malkuch and Loke. The Keva did Luin lo mishtami be'edya. Meaning, what does he agree upon? He agrees upon the Luim. And the guy says, I don't want to have any more Yerakot. According to Rabbi Akiva's explanation, that includes the Luim. So now the guy eats the Luim. Does he get lashes for that? Says Rabbi Akiva, no. Why? Says the Ran, since it's not learnt straight out, it's like it's a machloket over here. It's coming like as an added. No, that's what it also meant. That's the whole machloket. Rabbi Akiva says, no, it also meant that. Since it's not straight out, and avagav demilach shlicha aleh. Instead, even though the shaliach would bring that along when you say yerek, lo mitziri bevadai. It's not bevadai asur in his lashon of yerek. Rabbi Akiva is including that. Ela misfeka. It's only from a safek, meaning where Rabbi Akiva. So this is an explanation of Abaye, and this is what the Ran is explaining. Where Abaye says no, he's not going to get. Rabbi Akiva is going to agree. He's not going to get lashes on it because he says that when a guy says yerek, now it's a neder's mina Torah. So you know what's included in that? Also the lat. Oh, there's a machloket about it. Rabbi Akiva says no, throw it in because we don't want him to violate Nedarim. But it's only like misafek that's why he's going to be asur to have the lat. But on safek you don't get lashes. Therefore, there's no lashes in that case.
I wonder why specific the Luin. Why no other specific?
I guess every other vegetable is clear cut that it's included. I mean, I think the luim is also is the category of squashes, all different types of gourds and different types of.
Which will sometimes have dilemma or something.
No, I think there's there's a lot of different types. So that category is also in the category of yerek. When you go to the store, you find there's pumpkin and there's butternut squash and there's whatever econ squash. I don't know.
I don't know the shopping.
So they have all these different types of things. So like it's all included, not like the one specific, but like this whole category. Okay. Okay. Let's continue a little bit, but I think I'm going to maybe start again from here, Tanan Hatam tomorrow. But let's just see it a little bit. Tanan Hatam. It was taught in Mishnah over there, and we learned this in Ketuvot as well. Shaliach she'asa shlichuto Baal Habayit ma'al. A shaliach that does his shlichut, the Baal Habayit is ma'al. And this is, again, so the laws of Me'ilah is, let's say, money that is for the Bet HaMikdash, and if a person uses it on their own, if they use it for themselves, there's a violation of Me'ilah. So what happens is a person tells his shaliach, hey, take this money and buy something with it. Buy me vegetables. So he forgot though that money was Me'ilah. And the shaliach did the shlichut. He did everything perfectly. So when they found out, oh my gosh, it was money for Bet HaMikdash, then the one that violated is the one that sent him, because the guy that did the shlichut, he was a shaliach. He did exactly what he was told to do. So a shaliach she'asa shlichuto, he has asa shlichuto. Baal Habayit ma'al lo asa shlichuto. Let's say the shaliach didn't do the shlichut. He took the money and he said, you know what, I'll buy him Yerakot tomorrow, or he doesn't know the difference. I need this money to buy my own groceries or whatever it is. He did his own thing, shaliach ma'al. The shaliach now, he did Me'ilah. And the difference is that to pay back Me'ilah, you have to add 20%. And again, Me'ilah also has to be, if it's Bishogeg, fine. So, Tanat HaMashliach she'asa shlichuto Baal Habayit ma'al lo asa shlichuto shaliach ma'al. Man Tana, who is the Tana of that Mishnah? Amar Chisda, matnitin de lo Rabbi Akiva. It's not Rabbi Akiva. The one that says that thing is not Rabbi Akiva. The Tanakh, it says in the Mishnah. Ketzad, Amar lo ten basar la'orchim, v'natan lem kaved. Let's say a person says, give my guests meat, and he gives them liver. 10 kaved, v'natan lem basar. Or he says, give them liver, and he gives them meat. Hashaliach ma'al. The shaliach did me'ilah, meaning it's a different type of, we call it besari, it's fleishiks, but it's not, when you say meat, you mean meat, not liver. So if the shaliach changed it up, it's the shaliach that did the me'ilah, if let's say that meat was, from Bet HaMikdash, etc. V'yi Rabbi Akiva, if you want to say, you know how I know Rabbi Akiva is not part of this? Because according to Rabbi Akiva, the shaliach did something close to meat, which is kaved. So it should be included in meat.
Like the gourds?
Like the gourds. But that's why, but you see it's not, so you see this is not like Rabbi Akiva. That's V'ir Rabbi Akiva, Hamar Rabbi Akiva, Kol milta demimlech ale shaliach, mineu, anything that a shaliach would like go to, that's included in the category. So, limol balabait, velo limol shaliach, the balabait should be the one responsible, and not the shaliach, because we said at the end of this Mishnah, it's the shaliach's fault. But you see, this is not Rabbi Akiva, because Rabbi Akiva, it's talking about a case where the shaliach obviously tried to do the ratzon of the balabait, and he didn't go, and he brought liver, which is very close to meat. He didn't go bring drinks, he brought liver. So that they're close to meat, and according to Rabbi Akiva, some things that are close, what does the shaliach do? The shaliach get something that's kind of connected, so that means it is connected, and therefore it should be a kiyum of the shlichut according to Rabbi Akiva. If it's a kiyum of the shlichut, the shaliach should not violate me'ilah. So, but this Mishnah says the shaliach does violate me'ilah. So you see, it's not like Rabbi Akiva. Okay, we'll end over here, and then we will continue tomorrow. We'll review from Tanan Hatam tomorrow. Chazak u'baruch.
Chazak u'baruch.
Just me, or your streets feel a little bit